Mozambican President Daniel Chapo has taken an oath of office in the capital Maputo. Chapo has taken over from Filipe Nyusi, who is stepping down. South Africa is represented by President Cyril Ramaphosa. But this comes as Mozambique has experienced massive protests due to disputed 9th of October election. Khayelihle Khumalo, SABC News reporter, joins us now in studio. Khayelihle, thank you so much for joining us on Point. It's been quite hectic and chaotic in Mozambique to finally see this inauguration take place. Tell us about how it went.
Well, certainly, Diabo, it's been quite a tumultuous ride for the Mozambicans, especially because, this has been preceded by the violence, the demonstrations, and, of course, the political stalemates. But so far, everything has gone swimmingly well in Maputo, where President Chapo has finally taken an oath, and obviously is currently delivering his remarks, where he's talking about a number of issues. For example, the issue of economic recovery, a primary issue for him, but also fighting corruption. As we know, it's quite endemic in Mozambique, but also another challenge in Mozambique. If you go to the northern parts of the country, the insurgency in Cabo Delgado, saying that he's going to deal with the issue of terrorism. We know that South Africa, alongside some SADC members, they were part of the SADC mission that was trying to stabilize and repel the terror attack. So there's quite a lot for him to do. But more than anything else, the issue of reconciliation, especially because we know that the issue of the instability, where we've seen some opposition parties, for example, boycotting the ceremony, is going to be a big issue for him. Yeah,
as I was doing my research, I did come across an article where they talked about how Mondlane has urged people to continue fighting in the streets. This now puts the peace talks at a risk. It looks like we're unlikely to see peace happening in Mozambique, and that could destabilize South Africa as a neighboring countries and trade that has been happening in the past.
It's a very challenging time for Mozambique, Diabo, especially because we know that South Africa is represented by President Cyril Ramaphosa alongside South Africa's International Relations and Cooperation Minister, Lamola, and also the Minister in the Presidency, Chabeni, really just underscoring the very important ties between the two nations. And we do know that South Africa has been calling for restraint, de-escalation, but also we know that they've been really talking, where they've been really saying the issue of trade between these two countries, but also the use of Maputo port is very key for the region. In fact, we saw that virtual mission and also where we saw the meeting by the SADC leaders led by the SADC Troika, where they discussed the issue of security and the political environment in Mozambique, where they have the panel of elders. So we do understand they will present that report to the leaders as well.
Yeah, let's talk about the youth in Mozambique, because obviously they would be the ones that are filling up the streets. And we tend to see this in a lot of African countries whenever there is disputed elections, so that now the youths are standing up and rising up if they don't want something. And this particular leader is quite youthful, 50 years of age. Do you think he would garner enough support or a voice strong enough for the youth to say yes or no, yes, we are continuing with the protest, or no, we are not?
I think especially, Diabo, because with all the social issues facing Mozambique, high unemployment, and we've seen with the recent demonstrations where the young Mozambicans have really been at the forefront. So I think it's really easy for Venancio Mondlane to really rally up and really get the young stars there, really just to show the discontent. But also we know that, he has been making all these calls for the demonstrations, but we do understand security has been heightened around the capital. But we do understand there has been some sporadic incidents where there has been some violence reported. But what has been really interesting about this inauguration, it comes across as a very low-key affair. For example, you have two heads of state, South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa and also Guinea-Bissau's president attending. Others are vice presidents and foreign affairs ministers. Even a former colonial power, Portugal, is represented by a foreign affairs minister. So there's quite a lot, really, just in terms of of the optics. I mean, even the current SADC chair, the Zimbabwean President Emmerson Mnangagwa, is not attending. So it really shows that it's going to be a really massive challenge in terms of the legitimacy for President Chapo, but reaching out to all the parties in the country.
Do you think the Mozambicans are sitting and glued to their screens right now and watching the inauguration, most like the Mozambicans that are based in South Africa are probably doing right now? Do you think that's happening?
I think it is happening. I mean, but obviously you do have those who are saying, look, is Frelimo really representing our interest? It's been 50 years of you in power. What about us? You know, the myriad of challenges confronting the country. So it's quite a very interesting time for Mozambique.
All right, Khayelihle Khumalo, thank you so much for giving us an update on what's happening with the inauguration in Mozambique, where President Ramaphosa is also in attendance.